Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's DiaryCast number 3. Today is the 14th of March, and here in Ireland and in England, it is Mother's Day. So if you have a mama out there that you love and so on and so forth, go give her a call or, make her know that you love her and all that stuff. And you know what? If you don't have anyone who fits that description, for whatever reason, you're valid too, and I hope you're having a good day. Look after yourself. What has been happening? This week has been a bit of a week. On Monday, I was working security, and absolutely nothing whatsoever interesting happened at security. Worked 14 hours straight overnight, and there was not a thing going on. But that's pretty much what my Monday was. And my Tuesday was sleep. I slept a lot on Tuesday and did nothing. On Wednesday, I did my usual streaming, and it was a bit of a disaster. So I started off the stream, and I was just having a lot of technical difficulties to start off. My Clip Studio Paint program decided that it was going to lag a lot. But the problem was, even though it was lagging and blacking out on my screen, it looked perfectly fine on the stream. So if anyone was watching at the time, they would have thought I was going mad. And then even after, when I got everything sorted and everything was working fine again, despite the fact I had to turn the stream off and restart everything, it was so annoying. My head just my motivation kind of decided that it was going to have the attention span of a horsefly. So it was like trying to get this pitch page drawn, and I just couldn't hold still, couldn't stay on one panel to draw. I'd had to go to different panel to draw, doing this, doing that, wanting to suddenly rearrange the higher pitch because I didn't like the pitch anymore suddenly. And in the end, I stopped drawing that page because I couldn't do it. And I ended up drawing do this in your style challenges instead. So, I don't know, I guess you can call it a semi-success because I did draw something in the end, but not the thing I was supposed to be drawing. Thursday, I ended up doing nothing. I absolutely had plans to work in the evening and night time, so on the morning and afternoon, I took a nice long walk with my brother and the dog, and then I was planning on working after dinner. But then my brothers decided we were going to watch that Disney movie, Raya, instead. And I was like, I really shouldn't. I really should go to work. And they were like, just work after the movie. And I was like, fine. I don't have much opinion on the movie Raya. I didn't like it, unfortunately. I didn't really like it. I didn't think it had much way of character arcs or a good, really interesting. I think the plot could have been quite interesting, but I really felt like it was kind of all over the place and very kind of a first draft script, which was really disappointing because it was a gorgeous film. The aesthetics were amazing. I loved all the character designs. I loved the fact that the character designs were so varied and every woman really looked different, and all the characters, even the background characters, all had different shapes, different body types and everything, and I loved that. But unfortunately, I just felt the movie fell flat for me. I might give you a pitch on how I think the story could have gone, but I might not, because the movie's still kind of young and I don't want to accidentally spoil things for people, and I really don't like influencing people's feelings on a film before they've watched it themselves. Now, if you watched the film and you felt the same about it, hey, great, we can shoot the shit. But I really don't like talking bad about film before someone watches it, because I feel that does actually affect someone's end result, their watching process. I feel it really does, and I don't want to do that. So, look, Don't worry about it. If you want to go watch the film, go watch the film. And if you you end up liking it or really like it, it's your favorite film of the year, good for you. Great. Fantastic. But anyway, after watching the film, I did not go to work. I went to bed. Because I think roughly by the time we finished it, it was about 9:30 or so, and I was like, I'm not going to start working, because if I start working now, I won't finish work until like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I really don't want to be awake for that long, because I was trying to fix my sleep schedule, which I have to do after every time I work security. I have to really kind of readjust myself quite quickly, or else I get into a really bad sleep habit. So I end up doing no work. So I was like, okay, Friday I'm going to do some good amount of work after when I do the shopping. Folks, let me tell you, when I woke up on Friday morning, my body, my muscles in my shoulder and in my neck shows violence, because I was in so much pain. Like, I woke up from the pain. I don't know what happened. I don't know what way I slept, but I mangled myself and I was in a lot of pain. So I had to douse myself in painkillers, had to douse myself in expired heat cream for my muscles, and I unfortunately had to go shopping. Unfortunately, I have to do it. I'm the only one in the household who can go shopping. My brother does do it with me, but because of reasons with a certain like discount card we have and all that, I have to go be the one who pays for the shopping, so my face is needed. So I went on my socials and cancelled my stream for that day, because I stream at 10, not 10, I stream at 8 o'clock on Friday evenings, and I cancelled it for that day because because my shoulder area was very sore and my neck area was very sore, and when I bent forward, it really, really hurt. So even in the evening when it really wasn't as bad as it was that morning, it was still sore, and I didn't want to aggravate it because those are really important muscles for an artist to use, surprisingly. And if I sat up at my desktop and worked for a few hours, I was just going to continue wrecking myself. So I decided I just going to have to not do any work, unfortunately. Then on Saturday, despite my shoulder feeling better, my neck felt even worse, and it was bad. So once again, dousing myself in painkillers, got in-date heat cream, which I had bought the previous day, and then I used a neck pillow, one of those neck pillows that you pop in the microwave and heat it up, and I just kind of felt sorry for myself for most of the morning, because I woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning from the pain, and I was up and I was awake because I was just too painful to stay in bed. And if for anyone who knows me, 8 o'clock, that's early for me. I am a night owl, so early mornings are not a thing for me. So the fact that I was in that much pain to physically get me out of bed says a lot. So thankfully, after doing a lot of dousing in creams and painkillers and doing a lot of stretches, the pain subsided quite a bit. So I was able to do a little bit of work and streaming on Saturday evening, and I sketched a fate page, and I think that was like the main amount of work that I've pretty much done all week. This was not a productive week at all. Though, I don't know, art-wise, it wasn't a productive week. But, like, obviously, because I worked my other job, technically that is productive. I get paid for that. So, obviously, it's not. The week wasn't ruined, but I would have liked to have gotten a lot more art done, because that is my main focus, my main importance. And this morning, I did woke up a-okay. All the stretching and looking after myself and all that paid off. So now my neck, slightly twingy, does not hurt, and neither does my shoulder. So that kind of sucked, but things happen, unfortunately. So let's get into some good news. What good things happened this week? Obviously, I was saying today it was Mother's Day, and I had a nice quiz game with my family. They were all the questions were all mother related. Not my mother, obviously, but just general mother stuff themed questions in honor of our alpha mummy, because I have a very large family, and I have some sisters and brother who have kids as well, so we have more mummies in the family. So our mother is the alpha mother, so kind of celebrating her today, but also celebrating my sisters who are also mums. And it was nice quiz. My team lost, unfortunately, which was really funny because I was on the same team as my mother, so we lost. We came like 4th. What else? I got some great news today, actually. I got some great news. I literally got it maybe 20 minutes before I started recording this. I got an email from the No Sleep podcast. They accepted one of my short stories. Many months ago, they accepted one of my short stories, and today I got paid for it. And today the story is up on the podcast app for the subscriber bonus episode, which is the suddenly shocking episode. And my story, The Attic, is one of the stories, and I'm ridiculously excited about that because No Sleep podcast is one of my favorite podcasts, and I'm delighted that they actually took one of my stories and actually paid me for it, which is really awesome. So I'm stupidly happy and excited about that, and I'm going to give it a listen later. But so if you are subscribed to the No Sleep podcast and you got suddenly shocking bonus episode, The Attic by Anthea West is me. I did that, and it's based on a 4-page short story comic that I drew a few years ago, and then I also rewrote it as a little lit short story. So that's pretty dang awesome. Very happy with that. So I kind of tore down what I did or did not do this week. Well, things on my to-do list I still have to do. The sticker at the shop thing is still there. I still have to do that. But from listening to my rant of this week, I'm sure you can understand why I haven't actually done it yet. But that's also something I have to do. Maybe I'll do that today. Maybe. We'll see. 3 pages of fate. I have 1 page sketched, and I have to ink it. But I did 2 pages last week, so that's 1.5 pages done. So then I have to do another page next week, and that's my goal for that week. But I will have to do more pages this month because I have no buffer anymore. My buffer is gone, so I either have to really push down those pedals to get to work and get more pages done, or take a break for a week just to build up a little buffer. We'll see how that goes. Pitch pages. My brain said no about pitch pages this week, so I have not done another pitch page. To be honest, I think I might very quickly re-thumbnail those pitch pages because there was just something I wasn't very happy about, and I can't quite put my finger on it. So I'm going to look through them again and see if I want to rearrange things or if I want to cut things out or add more things in. But we'll worry about that next week. I got my rice cooker. I mentioned that I bought a rice cooker last week, and I got it this week, and I've been using it, and it's great. I don't know why I've waited so long to get a rice cooker. Having a rice cooker is great. It cooks rice. And what did I make? I made Mongolian crispy beef on Friday for myself because I was sad, and I saw this recipe in a TikTok video, and I was like, that looks really tasty. So I looked up the recipe, and I was like, I can do that. I'm gonna do that. I am going to make this meal. And I did. And I also made it for my brother, and he also liked it. So it was a success. The world has been going mad about that art thing I mentioned last week that I am against but didn't fully really understand it. The NTCs, the crypto art. Now, like I said, I had a bare minimum understanding of it. And I didn't decide it. It just ended up becoming a big, massive thing that blew up on my Twitter this week especially. Because, So, when I said last week that I wasn't with it. I don't agree with it whatsoever. I would never do it myself because it's detrimental to the environment. I am still very, very, very much on that stance, because not only is it terrible for the environment, it's extremely elitist. It is a scam. It is a pyramid scheme. It is a way to waste your money. Unless you are either already rich or you have so many followers that you're making enough money to live on via art already, you should not really dive into crypto art. There is not a very high likely chance you're going to be making thousands of monies on this. Because not only do you have to spend a lot of money to get fake online money, the chances are no one's going to bid for your thing. Also, you don't get anything. You receive nothing by buying crypto art or selling crypto art. Well, if you sell crypto art, you might make some money. But buying crypto art, you literally get nothing. There's nothing for you. You don't own the copyright. You don't own distribution. You literally just get as like an email saying, hey, you now own the crypto art of this art, which is nothing. There's some line of code, but it literally amounts to nothing, is from what my understanding of it is. And it's just a big scam. It's a huge scam for elitists who are trying to paint it as a way to empower the digital art community, but it's not. Just don't get into crypto art. Don't waste your money, and don't destroy your planet. You live here. It wastes so much electricity and power. It's not a good scene, bro. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good on you. Don't do it. So, yeah, diving back onto crypto art there. Was the whole thing with the royal family this week, or was that last week, where your woman who married into the royal family and Prince Harry, is that the one she married? I don't know these people's names. They're English. They're English. I'm Irish. I don't care. But it's very funny to see all the Americans only suddenly realizing now that the royal family's kind of shit. When, Ireland, Wales, Scotland, we've been saying it for a while now, that they're racist. Because, they colonized? Feck, I can't even say the word. They took over a lot of countries. And they took a lot of stuff. And they killed a lot of people. And that's kind of all their history. Like, that's what the history of England is taking a lot of countries, taking a lot of people and other people's stuff, and just eating mummies. English people ate mummies, okay? I don't know what to tell you, okay? So that happened. And seriously, please look up English people eating mummies, because that was a huge thing. That was a trend in England back in the day, when England was going through its Egyptian phase. They went to Egypt, They dug up dead bodies, took them back to England, and ate them. Like, that's a thing. That actually happened. The Queen probably ate a mummy. The Queen is a cannibal. And, that happened. And also a lot of paintings were made with mummies as well. I think there was a brown colour they couldn't get, and grinding up mummy bits made the paint. And you just have to really be baffled by the whole, just the ingrained racism of it all. Like, you can just go to a brown person country. I'm going to steal your dead, and then I'm going to eat it. And you know what? I might grind it up and paint some pretty pictures about it, and you can't do shit about it because I'm white. Ha 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 ha. That's the old English person saying that, not me currently. I'm not going to any countries to eat some dead bodies because I'm not a bleeding cannibal. It's mad. It's mad what history is sometimes. It's fascinating as well. It is very fascinating. I think if any of you have ever listened to the Lore podcast, they have an episode on it about England's Egyptian craze, trend, Egyptian mania. There's an episode on it, and it's fascinating and terrible at the same time, and I do recommend reading up on it. It's because it is just absolutely fascinating. What else happened this week? With myself, I have started to learn Irish. And before any of you say, Anthea, you're Irish, I know. I'm aware. But, going back on the English thing, not a lot of the country speaks Irish. But a good decent percentage of the country does speak Irish. Irish is not a dead language. A lot of people do speak it. And I've always been really sad and disappointed with myself that I have never been able to grasp the Irish language. I learned it for years during school, but it was very difficult for me. Any language at all was very, very difficult for me to learn. I've always wanted to be able to even slightly grasp a different language. So I decided I got myself Duolingo, and I'm trying to learn a bit of Irish, and it's been going somewhat well. I've been doing the lessons, and I can get the lessons, and I can learn some words. The problem is, it's very hard for me to retain the Irish. If you ask me right now, Anthea, speak some Irish, I can't remember any. Colleen, Buchel, I'm doing the super casual, super easy course because that's how bad my Irish is. But the problem is that I'm having a hard time retaining it. So I'm worried that by the time I'm finished all the lessons on Duolingo, I wouldn't actually physically be able to speak any Irish because it went one eye and out the other eye because I'm looking at the app. I'm also listening to it, so I guess the in one ear and out the other still applies here. But that's what I'm worried about, because there's no one else in this household whom I could speak Irish with, and I don't really have anyone close by who I can actually just speak Irish with. And I feel like I would probably learn better if I was speaking it often and speaking it with someone who was actually able to speak it. But I am it's a step forward, right? It's a step forward to pick up the app and start learning a bit of Irish and speak a little bit of Irish a day. So hopefully, maybe I'll make a breakthrough and it'll actually stay in my head and I can actually pronounce the Irish words. Because I didn't learn Irish when I was in senior infants and all that, but that's obviously that's because you may or may not know, I was born with a lot of hearing difficulties and speech difficulties because of the hearing difficulties, and I wasn't really able to speak or really hold a conversation till I was about, I think I had an operation when I was 5, so I think it was about maybe 6 or 7 until I was really kind of somewhat holding conversations with people. So I had to go to speech therapy school, and obviously they would concentrate more on English than on Irish because they were just trying to help me learn speech. But if they did or did not, I don't remember ever learning Irish in this school. I only ever really remember doing, English and other life necessity things that you gotta learn. I remember learning how to tie my loose shoelaces and stuff there and all that type of stuff. And then by the time when I went to first class when I was 8, I was speaking like nobody's business. Couldn't get me to shut up, but I was speaking it. But I don't remember having really any Irish in first class. Maybe I did. Maybe my memory of it is just that bad. But I don't even remember having the basics in first class, and I was kind of just thrown into it. So everyone else seemed to know more Irish than I did at that point. But I just felt like I never really caught up. All those years, I just never really caught up. And when I went to secondary school, kind of your level grasp of language determined what sort of class you went into. So I went in more of the lower classes, so I was put in with a lot of people who also either weren't good at Irish or had absolutely no interest in Irish, so the classes were always disrupted. And we didn't really learn much at all. So, it's really hard to learn in an environment where no one else wants to learn. And it's just disruptive, and you just know that no one wants to be there. The teacher doesn't even want to be there. So, it's impossible to learn. And I felt like this was the case throughout my entire secondary school life as well. Just no one wanted to be in the Irish classes I always ended up being in because my grasp was extremely low. I was never good at it. So by the time I left secondary school, no Irish. I had no Irish on me. And I was just always really sad about that because it's my inheritance. I should be able to speak my own language in some sort of terms. So I just really want to try and have some grasp of Irish. If I could be able to speak a proper sentence or two to someone organically in Irish, I'd be really happy. I don't think I'll ever be able to do a full-on conversation, but if I could do a sentence or two, I would be so proud of myself. I know that's not a lot, and I'm really not expecting a lot from myself, but that's my goal. And I got very inspired in these last year because I've been following a lot of Irish TikToks, and a lot of Irish TikToks who do speak fluent Irish, and been talking about and advocating for the language, for more people to learn it, and to, you're not teaching other countries, but you're teaching people within Ireland that Irish is not a dead language, and you can still learn it and speak it, and you can still be fluent in it. And a lot of Irish people just don't really think there's any point, and it's really sad because it's our language. We should try and learn it. Now, I do blame the school systems a little bit because they don't make learning Irish interesting whatsoever. And, well, I kind of blame school systems for a lot of things. It's kind of outdated at this point. But I just want to learn Irish. I want to be able to speak Irish. And if I could learn a bit of Irish, that'd be great. Because another language I'd love to learn is French. Anthea, why do you want to learn French? I want to learn French because I had this dream kind of back in the day. This was before I became disillusioned with my money situation and the fact that I will never be able to live outside of the family home. I had always dreamed that I would move to France and work in the French comic community, because the French comics are amazing, and there's so many great stories out there, and they're not really stuck in the thought of, comics are just superheroes, and there's a lot of different adventures and fantasy and all that type of stuff, sci-fi life. It's very big and grand, and I love French comics, and I really love French animation as well. So I just love to be able to speak that language and be able to insert myself into that sort of world. Probably a bit of a pipe dream, but it is something I think would be really cool. Okay, we've gone past the 30-minute mark, and I am going to stop chatting with you because about 15 minutes ago my father was yelling at me to come downstairs for dinner. So I'm 15 minutes late for dinner. But I didn't want to stop recording. I really like kind of just sitting down and kind of organically just letting the thoughts and the words just flow out of me and just have this nice content, just kind of unconscious stream of babble. That's how I would describe this DiaryCast. Just a stream of babble. But yeah, I'm going to love yous and I'm going to leave yous. Thanks so much for listening. Hopefully I will talk to you or you'll listen to me, whatever, next week. So I will see you next week. Goodbye.